You're listening to The Pete Shepherd Show.
Oh, it's good to be back. Driving back Mangum. He's turning around. That is up there. That is gone. It's gone. It's a home run. He hit another one out. The Red Sox lead it 4-1. Say Don Rafaela. Just enough. Number 14. He needed Fenway for this one.
Oh my goodness, Bo Derek for the Red Sox heading into the All-Star break. For you youngins out there, the movie 10 back in the day, hysterical. For the Red Sox, a 10-game winning streak, first since 2018. By the way, they won it that year. Heading into the All-Star break, holy cow. Welcome to the Pete Shepherd Show here on this Monday. It is July 14th. Let's get it going. Once again, you will not hear about LeBron James on this show. Who gives a shit? I don't care about Cooper Flagg being shut down. ESPN this morning led with the Lakers instead of Terry Francona's 2,000th career victory and the Red Sox 10-game winning streaks, which are clearly the two best stories in all of sports over the weekend. Not even close. Skinner winning at Wimbledon, I guess, is up there as well for some of you, but not me. We'll get to that. I got one little highlight from that as well. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pete Shepherd Show here. This is the most boringest week in sports, no question about it. But we will be here this Monday through Friday. I can promise you that. And the home run derbies tonight, blah, blah, blah. Unless you're betting shekels on it. I mean, it's just the same old. Doesn't really interest me. Going to the baseball home run derby. I'll probably watch like 5 minutes of it here and there, but that's about it. But nevertheless, an exciting time in Major League Baseball. We're going to get to the updated state. I got to sneeze. Maybe another one. Sorry about that. It's a good thing I muted my mic because I'm like the big, I can blow the house down. It's crazy. I let it all out. When I sneeze, and I've always been this way, I am not one of those like, my holes in the nose, like, I don't do that. I just let it out. I turn away from people. Not in this room when I'm here, but I turn away from people. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to the Pete Shepherd Show. Baseball is absolutely going to be a hot topic today on this show. There's no question about it. The MLB draft was yesterday as well. I got a lot of Red Sox highlights from yesterday, both audio and video, and also some draft highlights as well. A couple of surprise picks at the top of the draft. We'll get into all of that. It's not a lot of NFL news except of John Elway's agent dying. There really isn't a lot going on, and even in the world of college football right now. We're going to focus mostly on baseball. We'll get to some college football and there is a little bit of NFL news, but we're going to stick mostly with Major League Baseball today. Jay Flanley going to join me at 8:05, and he's got a picture. If you've seen on my Facebook page, there's a picture of him with the Michigan kid who was drafted. I don't even know who drafted him. I forget. Is it the Mets? I think the Mets took him, believe it or not. The Red Sox took Kyson Witherspoon, really good right-handed pitcher out of Oklahoma, and we'll have some highlights from him as well. But we say good morning to Angel Martinez. It has just been an unbelievably lightning type of weekend, a Shazam type weekend. I know you guys got some stuff today. I know we're going to get it today we're going to get around 3 inches of rain between now and Wednesday. There's no question about it. Lots of lightning, lots of bad weather, sporadic. It's not like it's, 48 hours straight, but nevertheless, Angel Martinez, I was worried about you this morning as I turned on the news at 5:30 and saw that you guys were getting whacked up there. I got whacked overnight, and I'm always afraid about lightning strikes. Not that you'll get hit, but that will knock the show off the air because you are like C2U, you're central control.
That I am. Good morning, Pete. I don't know who decided to order the storms at 1:15 in the morning, but whoever ordered them should be fired because it was ridiculous. It's much needed rain. I always say it because we do need it badly, especially for the grass around here. But it was, it's like a teaser. 1:15 to like 2 a.m., right? Boom, lightning, boom, lightning, boom, lightning. And then it was like all of a sudden the paparazzi went away for about 5 minutes. And then Mother Nature was like, I was just kidding. Here comes the second round. And then third round. And then the fourth round, I'm like, well, I'm just going to be up all night long because I can't sleep when it's like active crap going on outside. But
really, the rain and the noise, the white noise doesn't cause you to sleep. I mean, I know thunder can wake you up down. I mean,
Oh yeah, because it's like someone taking it. The funny thing is, the best way to describe it to everybody is like taking the paparazzi and putting it at your windows, no matter what window of your house, and then taking the loudest bass system you could ever find. Like these guys where you can hear their bass from like 6 blocks away. That's what it feels like. Someone just puts a bass on top of the house and boom, blah, 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 blah. It's like, hi.
Another annoying thing: people who open their windows, blast the radio, and put boom music. Even as a kid. It just did. Although how many times would you use your parents' car back in the day, and the radio would be, and my dad would be like, "Would you turn the goddamn radio down before you get out of the car?" That, and if there was no gas in the car, oh my God, my mother would have a conniption. Rightly so, by the way. But you didn't think about it back then as a kid.
No, I think I may have used my mom's Regal maybe 3 times. I think I had borrowed because that was fortunate for me. I went back to Pennsylvania to go get my driver's license because you can get your permit back in the day at 15 and like 3/4, some crap like that. And 16, you can get your driver's license. That's when people were actually responsible.
Yep.
So I ended up getting it, went back to New England because I wanted to finish up my high school years there. And then I borrowed my mom's car twice. And then 3 times. The second time I borrowed my mom's car, we were at my buddy's house, Tally. Mm-hmm. We're playing basketball. I don't know where this cop shows up and he goes, who owns the blue and white Regal? And so I put my hand up and said, well, I don't, but my mom does. He goes, can I speak to you? I said, sure. So then he's telling me there was a car that was involved in a hit and run. So he just wanted to check out the car. I'm like, sure. So my buddy was like, oh, we're just playing basketball. And the guy said, no, nobody's in trouble. So he went and walked around the car. He goes, that's a pretty nice car. So yeah, it's my mom. He said, if something were happened to it, don't worry. You guys would be the first one I reach out to because she would kill me. And the guy just laughed and drove away. But yeah, that was back in the day when, gas was the big thing. But then again, we were only paying, like 76 cents a gallon or something ridiculous. So it was freaking
it was under $1. I mean, you could fill your car up with $10.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Didn't matter what kind of tank you had.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, that's something too. Yeah, those were the days. Especially when I took a bunch of friends to Fenway Park when I was 16 and got caught on the Thursday night baseball on NBC because it got rain delayed and we moved down to the front row and back at third base. And my parents were watching Red Sox, White Sox. The game went way late, extra innings. I lived an hour and a half away from this anyway. I've told the story many times, but it is a funny story. And I knew Wade Boggs followed one down the line to us, and I kept telling my friends, duck, because we had our school jackets on and other stuff. And I'm like, oh no, I know they're watching. And then the game went extra innings. Mike Easley hit a home run, beat the White Sox, I think 4-3 after like 2 rain delays. We couldn't find the car afterwards. We got home at 4:00 in the morning. It was hysterical.
Now, did the parents' car have an 8-track?
No, that car didn't. But my other dad's car did. One of them did at one point. Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was the best when you had the big.
And all I heard was Neil Diamond, and they loved because they honeymooned in Jamaica in 1960 when they got married, and they fell in love with the culture. They loved, being Italian, but they loved it. So we had tons of Jamaican music, 8-track tapes, fun stuff. So I learned a lot of that stuff when I was a kid. Anyway, we do. Yeah, 8-track. Yeah, I'm sure your parents had 8-track in the car too.
Oh yeah, my dad was so happy. So the third car he had it built in, but the second car, when the 8-track came out, son, you gotta watch this. I'm like, what? He goes, here, grab this. Now, of course, I never knew what an 8-track looked like for the first time. All I see is this gigantic cartridge. Goes, put it in there. I'm like, all right, put it in, ka-chunk. And then the music starts playing. Goes, want to see something nice? Hit that button over there, ka-chunk. And then it goes over to the second song. I'm like, all right.
But you couldn't fast forward a lot of them. You couldn't fast forward. No. You could skip songs, but you could not fast forward. Very few. that could do that. It was crazy. Back in back in the day. Of course, Columbia House. Here's a penny. Give me 15. You know, you're under 18, so they can't do anything. And you would just keep ordering them and ordering stuff, and it just like that was nuts between Columbia House and RCA. You
Yep.
could really, really enhance your collection. You know, whether you wanted albums or they really weren't cassettes, but they had cassettes. But it was either basically albums or 8-track. And a lot of people, including myself back then, were getting 8-track. But and then we got in the radio and had carts. I'm like, no, they are again. That's what carts looked like back then.
Right.
8-track. Now everything's all digital. So people in broadcasting school now are going, what's a cart? Do I go kart? No. It's like it looked like an 8-track cartridge, and except it wasn't. And that's how all the commercials and all the music ran back in the day. And you'd have stacks of them. The producer would have stacks of them in front of you. If you were running a music show, usually they were color coordinated because you'd have to run certain songs or certain types of music, depending on what format you had and certain stuff was in the rotation. You'd have a big, giant thing of carts plus the commercials. And I used to love everything in apple pie order, even though I was doing sports and news at the same time, my first couple of stations. So I'd have my whole show, a whole 3 or 4 hour shift show of stuff right there in apple pie order, you know, and hopefully it fired on time. Anyway.
Yeah, that, and then you also had the reel-to-reels before they took that away.
Oh, please, God, reel to reels that's how you edited commercials. So that was the worst. And you had the yellow, stick, and you'd have to if there were songs or if you a lot of times you interviewed people and on the phone, and it would be on reel to reel. You'd have to go back and edit it, and oh my God, what a pain in the ass. And then the worst was, and I don't know if you had to go through this. My first couple of years in radio, about the AP machine, the teletype. And that was something that was always in the back of the newsroom. You couldn't have it in the newsroom or in the studio because it makes too much noise. And it would have everything from national news and sports to local, depending on what market you were in and what you. But the worst was changing the ribbon. Oh my God! Every radio station had, if you had to do it, and usually it was done by the overnight person or some kind of a lackey. But when you first start off in radio back then, you're the lackey. I'm the lackey. You know, so everybody just takes turns doing it. There's a big thing of yellow gloves, like if you were cleaning a toilet,
Right.
because the ribbon will get all over you. All over. It was all blue and black. So I knew whenever time it was supposed to happen, I would wear the worst clothes and the worst shirt because I'm like, they're going to get it all over me. It sucked changing. It was like picture an old typewriter ribbon, but way worse and way more gooky. And oh my God, it was crazy. Not to mention the AP, not to mention the paper. You got to make sure it was in those little dots, you know, on the printer. Otherwise, sometimes you'd come into work early in the morning, especially if I do news and sports in the morning. Back in the day, it's like, and you're relying on a lot of that for national news and stuff, and like it's like, and it's just going, and it's gone on the same track for like 6 hours. It's just one big ink fucking block, you know, and the rest of, so you'd have to reset it, and then you get it right, and then it redoes it, so and it takes a half an hour for it to recycle and everything else. It was just like. You know what, though? I wouldn't change any of it.
No, because it's stuff you just remember from back in the day. I remember our guy.
They have it so easy. They have no idea.
Nope. Our guy used to sit in the booth, and it was Morse code. He had to wait for it to come in. Did it, did it, and he'd write it down. But that and the Pony Express, it was great.
It was, man. It was.
This is what I mean. Like, there's stuff that I wish people now would know what you had to go through back in the day in order to make everything run. Like now, it's all, you know, hand somebody a thumb drive. And
the on-air part was easy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, even though everybody's always a little nervous, you know, I still remember my first shift, and your heart's racing, and you're like, oh my God, blah 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 blah, and you know, just like, you know, after the first story, I just remembered what a couple of teachers told me in school. Just calm down, but you're going to have that anxiety. But that's the easy part was going on the air and talking. The hard part was all the prep you had to do. It's like a chef. with the mirepoix, the celery, carrots, and onions, celery all have to be diced up. You have to get your carts. You have to get this. You had to make sure that the paper in the machine was working, this, that, and the other thing. And then turning on your microphone was the last thing. And and even that sometimes was, you forget. I used to write my name at the top, every single thing. Everything I did, and I still do sometimes, write my name at the top because you forget. You forget. Who are you? Yeah, I'm me. Yeah.
Good morning, Joe.
Joe says, "Good morning, gentlemen." So, Pete, are you fully on the bandwagon yet with the rest? No, I'm on. Of course, I'm on board. I've been saying it since the winning streak started. And look, this team is gaining confidence. They have arguably the toughest schedule coming up in all of baseball coming up until August 14th when they play the Miami Marlins. They have all first. They got the Cubs, they got the Dodgers, they got the Astros twice, they got Kansas City, and they got Minnesota. I mean, there is no team in baseball that has a tougher schedule than the Red Sox coming right out of the All-Star break. But I do think they're gaining a hell of a lot of confidence, which we'll get to in a second here. And you can build on that. You can build on that. I said that, I compared, and I'm not comparing, I'm giving a similar analogy as I did last week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers under Tom Brady's first year when they went to win the Super Bowl, they were doing pretty well. They were okay. But they were like 7-6 or 7-5 going into the last 4 games of the season. And they played kind of the sisters of the poor of the NFL, but they blew everybody out. They blew them all out, all of them. Some were way over by halftime, and that really helped them getting into the postseason. I mean, it really helped their confidence. So I'm hoping the Red Sox will build on this as they should. The Tampa Bay Rays was a good baseball team. I mean, they can't get out of Boston fast enough. Rafael Cedeno just absolutely killed them in this series. Unbelievable. Joe says, the next dozen games will determine. More than that, Joe. More than a dozen. More than a dozen. But right now, and Angels Phillies won yesterday. They're playing good ball. So as of right now, here's how it looks in the American League. The 3 top division winners, right now, top teams: Detroit, Houston, and the Blue Jays, are the top of the American League. The Yankees, Red Sox, and Mariners are right there. The Reds are the 3 wild card teams, and the Red Sox are the Mariners are a half game behind the Red Sox for the second spot. The Red Sox are a game behind the Yankees for the first spot. And the Red Sox are only 3 games behind the Blue Jays for the American League East lead. Just 3 games. The Yankees are 2 games, and Tampa Bay is 5.5. And then over in the National League, your top teams there are the Dodgers, the Cubs, and Angels, Philadelphia Phillies, with the Brewers, Mets, and Padres all there in the wild card spot. The Brewers have a 4-game lead. The Mets are 2.5. The Mets are 2.5 behind Milwaukee. There is the second wild card, and the Padres are a half game up on the Giants for the third wild card. So it's going to be tight, and it's going to be very, very interesting down the stretch, especially for the Red Sox here, as they have an absolutely brutal schedule coming up. So we'll get into it. I'll go over it again at some point today. Definitely will be shorter shows this week. I'm pre-warning everybody right now because this is arguably the most boring week of the year, the Home Run Derby. There's some baseball news. Some want to make a controversy. Every single year there's something. Before we get into the MLB rundown, every year there's always somebody who makes the team and doesn't make the team, and there's a reason why, and there's always this, that, and I don't care. I mean, it's been going on. I mean, Bucky Dent got nominated got voted on the All-Star team many, many years ago. There's always fair and unfair. I don't care. What I do care about is my starting ace, Gary Crochet, is not going to pitch, doesn't want to pitch. And I don't blame him, saving himself. And I'll give you another example. Back in the day, one of the greatest All-Star games, certainly had the privilege of being one of the greatest All-Star moments back in 1999 at Fenway when Ted Williams came out to the mound, and everybody, all the players were surrounding him. It was just a surreal moment. And then Pedro Martinez came out and started for the Red Sox, started for the American League, and just mowed down the National League, mowed them down. Right up until after the game, 2 days later, he goes on the DL, where they came out of the All-Star break, I believe, had to play the Mets, a pretty decent Mets team, and he couldn't pitch because he threw his arm out. and was out for a while. So I'm not saying that would happen now. And back then, the starters used to go 3 innings. The starters were almost mandatory that they had to play 3 innings, except for pitchers. The rest of the starters had to play 3 innings back then, and he went 3. If I remember, he was unbelievable right up until he wasn't. I remember in '86, Roger Clemens was MVP of the All-Star game. He pitched 3 perfect innings. And Frank White had a home run in that game, and I think Lou Whitaker had a home run in that game as well. The American League, I think, won 3-1 over the National League, if I remember correctly. But Clemens got MVP of the All-Star game. He also got the Cy Young Award that year and also won MVP. But I just don't want my guys hurt in an exhibition game. Nope. I don't want them hurt.
Wouldn't make any sense.
Nope. But anyway, all right. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into to the Red Sox. Let's start with we'll go through the whole MLB rundown here. And let's see. Start with the Red Sox. I mean, they're just on fire. Hottest team in baseball by far. Excuse me. People are always like, why do you always... I don't know why my nose runs in this studio. There's a fan right above me, and I just get the sniffles. And once I'm done with the show, I don't, but that's the reason why. Otherwise, it'd be like, kind of gross. All right, Red Sox win. They sweep the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday. Unbelievable. And it is hard. I don't care what level of baseball you are at or where you are in the standings or how hot you are. It is tough to win a 4-game series in MLB. It is very, very difficult. But the Red Sox got it going yesterday. Down early, and let's head to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Swing and a drive. Sox to the wall. Off the 10.
Hear that?
Yes. It's another one right on the screws. And the Red Sox lead it.
Seeing Pepio well here today. I mean, it's pretty much middle. You mentioned that's 3 balls now. He's hit really hard on Pepio. Probably better than anybody in this lineup right now. It's the right man to have up.
110 off the bat.
Yeah, see, and that's the type of ball that's a home run in a lot of other parks. And like I said, the Green Monster takes away a lot more home runs than it gives up. Now, if we could scroll down, Angel, Rafael Cedeno, who's just been absolutely on fire, and you want to scroll down, and there it is. Cedeno Rafaela will not be stopped under Red Sox, and this was a huge hit, obviously, in the game that put the Red Sox up 4-1, which ended up being the final. But he has just been absolutely on fire. You see it, Angel?
Yippers.
Ready.
The 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball into left field, driving back Mangum. He's turning around. That is up there. That is gone. It's gone. It's a home run. He hit another one out. The Red Sox lead it 4-1. Cedeno Rafaela. Just enough. Number 14.
Needed Fenway for this one. Step back on that changeup. I mean, he's on fire. Tampa can't wait to get out of here. They don't want to see him anymore.
That's true. They were Brian Lou Maloney with the call on this. And remember, Rafael hit the walk-off 2-run homer on Friday. Hit his 14th homer of the year and the 6th. And Trevor Story had that go-ahead single smash off the wall. And Boston's last had a 10-game streak, a 10-game winning streak. By the way, back in July of 2018, they head into the All-Star game, as I said, in 3rd place in the American League East, just 3 games behind Toronto for the American League East lead. Brian Bayo was awesome, 26-year-old. You talk about a guy who might deserve to be on the All-Star team. This guy is pitching out of his mind right now. 26 years old, he's 6-3. Gave up 6 hits, struck out 5, and did not have a walk over 6 in the 3rd, coming off his 9-inning complete game in his previous start. And then Aroldis Chapman, I don't think he's pitched any better in his life than he is right now. Absolutely fanned the last 3 batters, I believe, on either 16 or 17 pitches. Absolutely dominating the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, let's see, Angel, if we could scroll down. Let's get some reaction here. How about let's go to Trevor Story. It's under, I think we have more of an identity now under Nesson. So just a few, there it is.
Like we've talked about, I think just the conviction and who we are as a team. I think we have more of an identity now. And we're starting to believe in that. I think we can win in different ways. I think we've shown over this 10-gamer. We can slug or we can win one-run games. We can steal bases. I think we're just embracing all of that. And playing good defense has to be a key part of that. And but I think it all starts with the pitching, and they've been lights out.
I know that you were hurt a lot for the last couple of years and making your way back at this time of year, but why are you confident this team is not going to have the same second half slide that you guys did the last couple?
I mean, that's just in the past. We're feeling like I think that's been a big part of why we've been successful. We're in the moment. We're very present. Not worried about what we did yesterday. We got to show up today and win a game. And I think with that mindset, it's hard to live in the past or in the future. So I think that's a big part of our team and our identity. So I'm excited to start the second half, but first take a few days for sure.
What's it like? All right, Trevor Story, he's also been absolutely on fire during this 10-game winning streak. It's very exciting. And one more video for this, if we could, Angel, scroll right above that. On Nesson yesterday, Alex Cora, that prognosticator of prognosticators, predicted that this probably would happen just 2 months ago when I was ready to just pack it in on this team. But he remained confident. Guess what? He was right. We were all wrong.
All right, it all adds up to a 10-game winning streak now for the Red Sox. They haven't had one of those since 2018. Take a look at the numbers over the 10-game streak. 299 is a team. They're outscoring teams by 46 runs. We flash back to earlier this season, something Alex Cora said about a streak just like this.
That's a positive, right? The way I see it, and you guys know how I feel about 10-game win streaks. We haven't done that in a while here. That's one. But when you get on a hot streak, you want to get 8 games over 500, 10 games over 500. So, we still, playing where we at, an average team, right? And hopefully when we get our streak, we can get to 8 games over 500 and then take off.
It's incredible.
Wow.
I mean, he literally predicted exactly what could happen. It's a 10-game winning streak that puts them 8 games over 500. Exactly what he said in almost 2 months ago.
Alex Coristotle.
Hey, he's seen this movie a few times.
Yeah. I mean, this is no surprise to him. He knows his ball club better than anybody, and he knows how during the long season you go on runs and you get beat up on some runs too. But you got to win these ones at home. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, speaking of movies, I saw Sinners yesterday. I'll get back to you on that, Angel. Very, very interesting. Dracula meets Django Unchained. It was absolutely unbelievable.
What the heck?
Well, that's what it was like. I mean, it was the combination of craziness. But Michael B. Jordan, very good. Definitely worth it. I did not see Superman this weekend. I did not see it. I did hear Crypto stole the show, as I thought, or his scenes were great. All right. Meanwhile, so there you have it right there. The Red Sox and Alex Cora predicting exactly where they are right now. 10-game winning streak, 8 games over 500. That's exactly where they are. Again, cannot stress enough what is coming up here for the Red Sox from a schedule-wise. Let's go over it again, shall we? And just tell you right after the All-Star break. And team nobody hotter in Major League Baseball than the Red Sox. They have won 10 in a row. Headed into a 4-game sweep, 4-3, 5-4, 1-0, and 4-1. By the way, Garrett Crochet 2 days ago was ridiculous. Only 100 pitches. His first complete game, let alone a first complete game shutout, absolutely on fire and unstoppable in that 1-0 win, including so he improved to 10-4. He will not pitch in the All-Star game, which is great as far as I'm concerned, and that's good too. And your Phillies pitcher, he's not going to pitch in the All-Star game either. And that was part of the, what's his name? I'm having a brain cramp, Angel, but that's why they put the guy from Milwaukee in because, was it Sanchez? He declined to pitch, which I don't blame him because it's the same with Crochet. He said he wanted to rest. So who cares? And people it's people like up in arms over it because the other guy's only pitched in 5 games this year, even though he's 4-1, I think, with a 2.89 ERA. So what? If you're a Phillies fan, I don't want my pitchers pitching in the All-Star game. No way. Sorry.
Take a break. Sorry. Yep, me too.
All All right, so out of the gate, the Red Sox have 3 at the Cubs, then 3 at Philadelphia. Let's forget 3 at the Cubs and 3 at Philadelphia. Right out of the gate, 2 first-place teams. And then you're home against the Dodgers, another first. That's 9 straight games against first-place teams. 6 on the road to start, and then 3 at home, and then back on the road against a pesky Minnesota Twins team. Then back home for 3 against Houston, and then home against another in Kansas City, another playoff team or close to it, and the Kansas City Royals for 3 at home. And then at San Diego, a team that's also a wild card team right now, 3 for them. And then at Houston, oh, brutal. And then finally, you get the Miami Marlins at home on the 15th. So again, I've circled, still here, August 13th. If the Red Sox can hover around 500, maybe a little, if they play 500 ball the rest of the year, I believe they win 85 games, which is probably enough to keep them in the hunt for the third playoff. That's for the rest of the year. I think there's 64 games left. I figured it out today because I'm a math major. If they go 32 and 32. But if they finish 5 games over 500 and get to 90, they might even win the division with that, the way this division is going. But let's get one series at a time. They start off in the afternoon, coming up on this Friday at 2:20 at Wrigley Field, national TV and MLB Network, and taking on the Cubs. So we'll see. That's where it begins. There's only one. It would be great, Angel, for us if the Red Sox and the Phillies got to be in the World Series. How much fun would that be?
Oh, it'd be a ton of fun.
My only other bucket list would be, I've really been so fortunate in my life. The only other bucket list I have, as I've said to you before, is Red Sox Cubs in the World Series. That, hasn't happened in a long, long, long time. But that's about it. I've got my Super Bowls. I've got Stanley Cups. I've got NBA championships. I've got 4 World Series titles from 2004 to 2018. So I've done my time. I've had, a lot of heartbreak, but I can honestly say at 58 years old now, and from what I went through initially to now, it was all worth it because the good has far, far outweighed the bad, even in times of, in these troubling times of sports frustration. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and go, be thankful for what, we have here as I have as a New England sports fan. And so many people around the country, don't even have a residue of it at all in anything. So take nothing. I mean, you understand. You've been through ups and downs. You've got you've got championships in all 4 sports, so you get it. But you never take it for granted.
Nope, except for the super long drought that we've been since the '60s on Lord Stanley. I don't know. We're never going to see him again. Apparently, maybe after I'm gone, we'll see it again.
Well, you never know. You never know. Hockey season's not that far away, by the way, a couple months away before training camp starts. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and do a whole MLB rundown, including Angels, Phillies winning yesterday. I think it was an 8th inning double. We have all the highlights. And Terry Francona, the greatest Red Sox manager ever, and one of the great managers in Red Sox history, and one of the great MLB managers in history. He will be in the Hall of Fame. He gets his 2,000th win yesterday. We'll do a whole MLB rundown. Got a couple we got a Wimbledon highlight, and some college football and some college and some NFL news as well. All part of and then Jake Blandley at the top of the hour, 8:05, right here on the Pete Shepard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Shepard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. ace-technology.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Shepherd Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
The 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball into left field, driving back Mangum. He's turning around. That is up there. That is good. It's gone. It's a home run. He hit another one out. The Red Sox lead it 4-1. Saved by Raphael. Just enough. Number 14.
Pete Shepard Show here at the Coastal Sports Network. It was Monday. So Daniel Rapiola blasting, not really, but a 2-run home run over the Monster yesterday. Red Sox win 4-1. They won 10 in a row. And they are closing in on the Toronto Blue Jays. And unfortunately, we have the All-Star break coming up here. And then the Red Sox have the most brutal schedule in Major League Baseball coming up until when they begin Friday at Wrigley Field up until the 13th when they close out an unbelievable schedule. And then they get the Miami Marlins on the 14th, which is good. Maybe it should be good, but you never know. They're liable to have an unbelievable stretch there and then like lose 2 out of 3 to Miami. But no, hopefully that will. One series at a time. It starts at Wrigley Field coming up at right after the All-Star break on Friday afternoon. Red Sox win 4-1. Before we continue here, do want to tell you, Phil Castanetti's Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. They've got a big event coming up, too, as well. Sports World presents Bruins goalie Jeremy Swayman coming up at the Kowloon, New England's premier Asian restaurant. That's at 948 Broadway in Saugus, Mass. That's coming up on Sunday, July 27th from noon to 2. There'll be all sorts of memorabilia, autographs. You can get autographs, regular, premium, and inscription, all of that stuff. Very limited. Phone orders are welcome, so give them a call at 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there. Should be great. Excuse me. All right. We're sticking with the Red Sox. Before we get to the MLB rundown, Angel, if we could scroll down to Oklahoma baseball. The MLB draft is not, and the NHL draft don't get the same kind of coverage that NBA and the NFL draft do for a lot of reasons most people don't know. It's under Oklahoma baseball. This is the Red Sox first-round pick, Angel.
Maybe I have to go. Let me go back up.
It should be right. It's should be 2 down under the show. There it is. 2 down under the show. And they still have the din 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 din.
Oh jeez.
Scouts have followed the Witherspoon twins since high school.
That's not what I want.
No, that's Malachi and overslot bonus.
Sorry, my bad. Where the hell is it? Hang on.
Maybe it's above that.
No, it's no, it has to be above it. What the hell did I know I put it up there. Hang on.
Oh no, hang on. I got it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep.
As a hitter, with the 15th pick, the 2025 MLB draft, the Boston Red Sox select Kyson Witherspoon, a right-handed pitcher from the University of Oklahoma. The Minnesota Twins have the next pick.
Hi, KP. You talked about what you expected. He's got a brother, too, another twin named Malachi, but it's Kyson and what he can bring to the mound. Kyson, I should say, that they're excited about now in the Red Sox organization. Yeah. As a hitter,
here's the 15th pick.
So now if we could scroll up, one right under the show, Angel. And this is a full scouting report. This kid turns 21 in August. Out of Oklahoma. He's topped out at 99 miles an hour. He's 6'2", 206 pounds. Throws a fastball, curveball, slider, cutter, and a changeup. And supposed to be an excellent pitcher. Okay, here we go. Here's a little scouting report on him.
Followed the Witherspoon twins since high school, with Diamondbacks trying to sign Malachi an overslot bonus as a 12th rounder in 2022. Though they have similar stuff, Kyson since has surpassed him as a prospect and should be the first college right-hander drafted in 2025. Witherspoon has swing and miss stuff, starting with mid-90s fastball that peaks at 99 miles an hour and stands out more for its power than its modest life. His mid-80s slider can touch 91 miles an hour while featuring both horizontal action and depth, and will turn into an upper 80s cutter that he uses just as often. He's showing more consistency with a downer curveball in the low 80s, while his upper 80s changeup is a work in progress that gets too firm but will show interesting fade at times. Witherspoon uses a compact arm action to generate quality stuff with little effort. His athleticism and mechanics have translated into improved control and command this spring, and barrel location has made it easier for him to get hitters to chase outside the strike zone. He has all the ingredients to become a frontline starter.
Okay, there you have it. There's a little scouting report, and it's so many kids in Major League Baseball, that college and in high school, that get drafted. So the Washington Nationals had the number 1 pick yesterday. They were expected to take either Ethan Holiday, who was another high school infielder, or LSU lefty. This is somebody I actually do know, Kate Anderson. I thought for sure, I couldn't believe it that they were going to take that they didn't take Kate Anderson, but they did not. Here's how it went down yesterday.
With the first pick of the 2025 MLB draft, the Washington Nationals select Eli Willits, a shortstop from Fort Cobb Broxton High School in Fort Cobb, Oklahoma.
Wow.
The Los Angeles Angels have the next pick.
Okay, so you say not a shock. We'll get the thought of everybody else. It's a bit of a surprise, and we'll get into his whole story. This was his vision. Amazingly, he authored this whole thing, did Eli Willits.
Yeah, and comes from a baseball family, spent some time with him, wrote a feature about himself and Ethan Holiday, both from Oklahoma. He reclassified, so he is the youngest player that's going to be drafted today. Again, talking about what Jeff talked about, what analytical teams do. They take guys that make a lot of contact and are very young for their class. That is Eli Willits to a T. There's a chance that he turns into a 2020 guy that can play shortstop. He's not the most obviously sort of football combine athletic guy. He is a baseball athletic guy. You can see that in the uplift video here. The power comes from being athletic, again, in a baseball way. It's often talked about fingertips to forearms, as opposed to some other sports where it's bench press, other things like that. He's very connected. He has 2 different swings. He maintains both of them. And he makes incredible amounts of contact, plus runner, above average defender.
Yeah, no, it's a fascinating pick. Look, this is not your typical high school 1-1 guy that has some major carrying tool. It's not world-class power. It's not world-class speed or arm strength. But he's a really good player, right? Let's talk about it a little bit. Switch hitter, really clean action from both sides of the plate, projects to get the barrel to the zone efficiently from both sides. When you watch him play the game, it's a ball player, like his pops, Reggie Willits.
All right, yeah. So again, he doesn't turn 18 until December 9th. He led Fort Cobb Broxton High School in Oklahoma to its 3rd straight state title this past year, previously committed to Oklahoma. He's 6'1", as you just heard, switch hitter, hailed for his bat-to-ball skills, plate discipline, considered a very strong defensive shortstop as well. 17 years and 216 days old, the youngest player taken number 1 since the Mariners took Ken Griffey Jr. back in 1987. Good Lord. Meanwhile, the Angels chose the second pick. They selected UC Santa Barbara starting pitcher Tyler Brenner at number 2. And after the Angels chose Brenner, a 6'2" righty with a plus changeup, it cleared the way Seattle to jump on Anderson, widely considered the best pitcher in the draft, with the number 3 pick. And the Mariners subsequently agreed to an $8.8 million signing bonus with Anderson, about $700,000 less than the value for the number 3 pick, a source told ESPN. And the Colorado Rockies followed by taking Holiday, who is took Ethan Holiday, another high school infielder, right there. And obviously his dad played back in the day. Let me see what else.
Oh, hang on here, because we had 2 texts that came in. First one being GPG, Gas Pump Guy. It's been a while. Good morning, fellas. Hope you had a great weekend. And Jerry up there from Rhode Island says, good morning, guys. As a baseball first guy, can't tell you how happy I am with the way the Sox are playing, especially this weekend series with the Rays. Great at-bats, outfielders laying out for catches, relay, putouts, and outstanding pitching.
Fundamental baseball, baby. They've been doing it, and I've been ripping them all year for not playing fundamental baseball because they were one of the worst teams in the league. But they've made some unbelievable plays. They're throwing out guys on on safety suicide squeezes. They're making the right relay cutoff. They're doing everything that an excellent baseball team does. Play good fundamental baseball. They have got to keep it up. Absolutely have got to keep it up. Okay. Meanwhile, let's go through an MLB rundown here if we can. Cincinnati and Terry Francona, one of my favorite people in any sport in the game. Greatest manager, certainly in Red Sox history, and he's going to be a Hall of Fame manager. Gets his 2,000th win yesterday, and here's how the Reds did it.
6.13 ERA on the road, 4.16. Here's a drive to right field. T.J. Friedel. Number 9 for Friedel, leadoff home run.
Well, that's the way to get her started.
Made it 1-0 Cincinnati. The Rockies actually took the lead on a 2-run single by Mickey Moniak's 2-run single in the top of the third. But then let's head to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Right side, base hit. Ellie scores for 2 Reds.
Yeah, that would be the final 4-2. Terry Francona. I forgot. I was going to go to Mike Petraglia and get some sound from him for this, but I forgot. He's on his 2-week cruise out in Europe, and has posted some great pictures. So can't. But congratulations, Terry Francona becomes the 13th manager in MLB history with 2,000 career wins. That is absolutely outstanding. Meanwhile, Yankees continuing to struggle.
If you like that combination of on-base plus slug at the top of the batting order. Swing and a high fly ball out towards right center field. That one back. That one is gone. Home run from the leadoff hitter, Michael Busch. And it's 1-0. And they're fired up in the Cub dugout. Like I said, they like that combination of on-base plus slug at the top of the batting order. And Michael Busch.
All right, thanks to Marquee Sports there. The Cubs were not done. Let's head to the top of the 6th inning.
The 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball left field. Dominguez back at the wall. That one is gone. Dansby Swanson. A 2-run homer, and here in the 6th, the Cubs have taken the lead. It is 3-1. Boy, huge swing of the bat for Dansby Swanson. Infield in. And he says, I don't care, infield, outfield, I'll just hit it in the seats. We talked about him hitting into some tough luck lately. Well, how do you mitigate?
Yeah, final score was 4-1. Cubs beat the Yankees of 4-1. By the way, a couple of days ago, Aaron Judge hit his 350th career home run. That happened on Saturday in his 1,088th game. Fastest in MLB history. Here's how it sounded on the Yes Network.
High fly ball right field. Tucker back on the track. See ya! His 350th career home run. The fastest to 350 any man in baseball history. A 2-run shot, and it's 5-2 Cubs.
All righty, let's move on. Cleveland and the White Sox in a nail-biter yesterday. It's 4-3. Now heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. Out to the plate comes Andrew Benintendi.
Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be here.
Benintendi deep to right. Forget about it. This ball game is tied. Andrew Benintendi launches into the seats. His 11th of the season.
Yep, former Red Sox player. I will not say why can't we get players like that because I don't want to jinx anything right now. And let's head to the top of the 10th inning for the Tribe, or the
Kane with a fastball, and Kwan lifts it to right field. Tauchman gathering himself, tagging is Martinez. He's coming home. The throw is cut off, and the Guardians take the lead 6-5.
It's a final. Cleveland beats the White Sox 6-5. The Guardians, not the Tribe, in 10 innings. Miami clobbered Baltimore yesterday, 11-1.
Stowers, who swings and he lifts one in the air, deep to right field, away, back and gone. Stowers with his 3rd of the afternoon. The Orioles must be sick to their stomachs now. Well, he's getting some pitches up in the zone. And he is doing damage. 3 at-bats, 3 home runs. This is unbelievable. Do they need a ninth spot in the Derby on tomorrow night? That's what I'm saying. He want to open up another slot? He should be in it. Oh, my goodness. He can't keep the smile off his face. Well, this pitch was supposed to be away. Look how much Young missed.
Yeah, I was supposed to play that last. Here are the first two. Here's his first one.
The wood stand. Stowers in the air. Deep right center field. Mullins on the run. Warning track. Walk on for the All-Star. Kyle Stowers with his 17th of the season. And it's 1-0 Miami.
All right, that was number one. Here is number two.
That is not trying to do. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. He has done it again. That's so good. Kyle Stowers with his second of the day back in his old digs.
Yes, that's so cool. Great color commentary there. And then, okay, and again, just the his third one of the day.
Stowers, who swings and he lifts one in the air, deep to right field, away, back and gone.
Yeah, that was the third one. Thanks to FanDuel Sports Network there for that. We continue on. Seattle doubled up Detroit yesterday.
And that one is deep to right field and going in a hurry. A little bat flip, and Jorge and the Mariners have retaken the lead here as the struggles continue for Tommy Kahnle.
I just think the Mariners have a really good approach against him. He is going to throw that changeup 86% of the time. You cannot get fooled by the arm speed. You have to make him bring that pitch up in the zone. Both of those things happen for Polanco.
Polanco, that put up 5-4, ended up being the game-winning hit, but they were not done. Here comes Cole Young, also in the top of the ninth.
Saw some last night as well, yesterday. Cole Young to right field. He's watching that one go, and that's in the seats as well. Cole Young, number 2, both on this road trip. The Mariners starting to break it open and doing what they do best, and that's slug.
Seattle won 8-4. Thanks again there to Root Sports Network, Kansas City, and the Mets. And Casey got it going in the bottom of the second.
Down the first baseline, that's a fair ball headed to the right field corner. A big hit for John Rave. 2 in for the Royals. Michael Garcia and Salvador Perez score.
All right, that's exactly what he's looking for. Find a hole. Sometimes it can be so hard in this business, folks.
Oh, yeah, it can be very hard in any business, especially when somebody's giving you the business. That put the Royals up 2-0. The Mets come back and tie it at 2. Let's head to the bottom of the ninth.
Don't get caught looking.
Lofted over Mauricio, base hit. Here comes Tolbert, flying around third. The throw, the dive, he's safe. The Royals win it. A redemption swing from Nick Lofton, his second game winner of the homestand. And the Royals beat the Mets 3-2.
The Royals held on, picked up Estevez, and picked up himself for misjudging a ball there in the ninth to allow the Mets to get back in it.
Pittsburgh and Minnesota also, thanks there to FanDuel Sports. Kansas City wins 3-2. Sorry, Jay. Pittsburgh nips Minnesota 2-1. Here's the go-ahead in the top of the ninth.
Bases are loaded as Spencer Horwitz comes to the plate. 3 consecutive hits off Duran. Bounced. Oh, nice stop. Oh, no trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and the Pirates will take the lead. Lee made a nice stop and just couldn't get the handle. Couldn't even get a play at second. And the Pirates take the lead 2-1.
This was an impressive play just to field it and keep it from getting to the outfield. And then I think the game sped up on him a little bit.
All right, thanks there to Sportsnet Pittsburgh for that. Pittsburgh nips Minnesota 2-1. Texas and Houston went at it as well yesterday. A little home run derby for the Rangers.
He's fatiguing a little. 2-1. And that ball's hit well. Deep out to left. You can say goodbye. That's gone. Up off those signs beyond the Crawford boxes. And Garcia makes it 3-0 and drink in those boos.
That's B-O-O-S, not B-O-O-Z-E.
He just continues to torch the Astros.
Yeah, thanks to the Ranger Sports Network. Earlier, that was in the bottom of the top of the third inning. They made it 3-0 Rangers earlier in the game. In the top of the actually, no, that was in the third. In the fourth inning, you had Zach Short had a solo shot, and in the eighth inning, Marcus Semien also had a home run. So 5-1 final, Texas over Houston. Milwaukee clobbered Washington.
Strikeouts.
Sends that one deep right center, and Chourio watches it fly way out.
Cheerio.
Opposite field tank from Jackson Chourio.
Cheerio, chap.
Home runs. 6-1 Brewers.
And the big controversy is, which I don't think is any controversy, is Ron Darling on Jacob Misiorowski making the All-Star team after only 5 starts.
And this is one of the most polarizing topics that I can remember. Yesterday, the rookie Jacob Misiorowski named to the NL All-Star team after just 5 starts, the fewest games ever for someone named to an All-Star game, surpassing by a wide margin Paul Skeens, who had set the record last year at 11.
Well, hey, listen, let's separate the kid from the choice. He had nothing to do with it. So to have any vitriol against the Misiorowski, is ill-placed and silly. It's not his fault. They decided to do it. But it can also be kind of a joke to the game and the integrity of the game that he's only pitched 5 times. Now, you were saying 11 times Skeens pitched?
11 times.
Last year, and he was in the All-Star game, and it didn't really raise any eyebrows around baseball. I think the problem is that there are so many deserving pitchers out there that look askance at this choice. So, again, separating this young man who's gotten off to a great start in his career, he had nothing to do with the choice. But it's a bad choice for baseball.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know how many of these other pitchers that MLB talked to that either didn't want to come to play or play. I guess you name the best one there, and then if they want to decline, they decline. But you know what? I just don't give a shit. I don't think it's that big a deal, especially when it comes to pitchers, because most of these guys don't want to, especially if they're in contention, they don't want to pitch in the game anyway. I mean, it's nice to be named, I guess, and I guess it's good if you have an incentive in your contract just to be named. But a lot of these guys just decline. They don't want to play in it, especially pitchers. All right, let's continue here. St. Louis and Atlanta in a nail-biter.
Everybody was in on the action. Fermin pulls his hands in. That's driven deep to left. Fermin has hit a homer.
Jose Fermin, thanks to the FanDuel Sports Network there. St. Louis goes up 5-3 there in the bottom of the 6th inning. They hang on to win 5-4. In 11 innings, the Dodgers come away once again with the win.
Bivens, first pitch to Pages. That's a flare to right field. That'll drop for a base hit. Freddie Freeman's going to wheel home. Make it 5-2.
And that's baseball. Hits are contagious. And they're just giving him the old bloop attack on Spencer Bivens. It's tough luck customer here. But a beautiful path. When you fight inside the baseball, fight the good fight. That is a lot of RBIs with those nice dumplings.
Yes. So they go on to win 5-2 in 11 innings, thanks to Roku Sports Channel. On to the A's in Toronto, and the A's doubled up the Blue Jays.
And the pitch to center field, walloped on this ball's going back, and Tyler Soderstrom adds a home run to his day. 4-0 A's off of two-run homers.
Great. NBC Sports California with a call there. Now, this happened. It was 4-0 A's. Now we go to the top of the 5th inning.
And he hits it high in the air. Left center field and deep. Back to the wall. This one's fair for sure. Big response from David Schneider, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
Now, right before that home run, that made it 4-1. Philly A's on top, but this happened before that.
Those pitches up to keep them all protected.
David Schneider hits the ball deep to left field down the line, and it's foul.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult. At this stadium, the foul poles, they're not really that tall. It's going to be really difficult to see, and this is our angle right here. So difficult to really pick up where that ball is. You see that white tip right there behind the foul pole? You can see the length of the foul pole right there. Those are tipped.
After review, the call in the field stands. It is a foul ball. John Schneider out of the dugout. He is upset right now with the result of this. He is going to go get his money's worth from Triple.
Yeah, he got his money's worth all right. He gets ejected. However, like I said, the very next pitch, Schneider hits it out of the park anyway, which is, unbelievable. Arizona beat the Angels 5-1. And finally, yesterday, it was the Phillies over San Diego late. Thanks to NBC Sports Philadelphia for this call coming up in the top of the 8th inning.
Fly ball left center field. Merrill's on the run. He's not going to get there. It's going to go to the wall. Harper will score. It's an RBI double for Real Muto. An extra base hit. Second one of the inning for the Phils. They lead it 2-1.
That might have been the biggest hit of the road trip. And he's been swinging the bat well. This is a slider that does not bite a whole lot. JT does a nice job of staying on it and drives it into left center field.
Yeah, thanks again. NBC Sports at Philadelphia with the call there. All right, that does it for the baseball rundown, MLB rundown. But joining us right now from Ann Arbor, waking up early once again for this program. We always love him. It's Jay Flanley, and I put his picture up on the Facebook page today for the show. And I don't know the young man's name. You told me, I don't know, but
Mitch Voigt.
Is that the Mets draft pick from Michigan?
Yep. Wisconsin kid, Whitefish Bay, I believe.
Okay.
Mitch been an awesome player for us. He's a two-way guy, but he got hurt his sophomore year pitching, so we didn't pitch him. He's an outfielder, really. They made him a second baseman. He's got a little Mookie Betts to him. He can play all over the place. Super young man. Very happy for he and his family. Broke a long streak for Michigan. We hadn't had a first-round pick in baseball in a while. And he's the best player we've had, position player, since Jacob Cronenworth, who's obviously a really good player on the Padres. And great. I was almost crying. He's like a really good friend of mine. I was at a charity event most of the day. I came in the middle of the draft, and it was awesome. Great. And the funny thing is, if you've seen the pictures and stuff, I've been telling Mitch since his freshman year, he looks like Prince. So, and he does. He dresses like Prince. He's got style to him, which is pretty funny. And I'm excited, obviously. It's very cool anytime your buddies get drafted, but it's really cool when they get drafted to your team. And I got the Mets hat going, and I'm wearing the jersey too. So it was great. But the amazing thing, Pete, how much of the draft did you actually watch?
None. None.
Okay, so listen to this.
But I went through it today. I know it's very interesting. That kid, Ethan Willits, was drafted number 1. Now, the one guy I thought Kate Anderson, because I've seen him pitch for LSU.
Yes.
I know how good he is. I was
Yes.
sort of stunned he didn't go number 1, but I guess they likened what the Washington Nationals are thinking analytics-wise, which could be stupid. I mean,
Well, they got a general manager who's been there for about a week, so that's part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if Rizzo would have done that. But anyway, they're the number 1 pick. They take a shortstop out of Oklahoma, a high school kid. Obviously, great pedigree from everything I've seen.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows? I mean, who the hell knows? I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, is this
So,
another Todd
Pete,
Van Poppel, or is this going to be A-Rod? You know, what's
great call on Todd
yeah.
Van Poppel, by the way.
Yeah.
So the craziest thing is, so I'm watching the MLB Network, and they
Mhm.
got Tony Vitello up there. He's the Tennessee coach.
Yeah.
Pete, 105 picks, 8 Tennessee guys.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
But they were kind of supposed to be in a rebuild mode this year. The thing that was interesting, local tie-in from me and you with New England, and you have Billy Bird on. He'll tell you about this kid. Liam Doyle was like the 5th pick, and he's a New Hampshire kid. And Tennessee was his 3rd school. I think he was at.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he was at like Coastal Carolina, Ole Miss, and then Tennessee, and he throws like 100.
He didn't want to go play at UNH in the winter, in the spring, where it's.
I'm not even being funny. I'm not even being funny.
First Cooper Flag,
Pete,
and now this.
Oh, I know, but Pete, I'm not even being funny. Does UNH have a baseball team? I don't know if they do anymore.
You know what? You might be right. I don't think they do because they're not.
Because the thing is, yes, because I watch a lot of the old Yankee conference, whatever you call it now.
Yeah.
Atlantic 10, I think.
They were a victim of the Title IX thing stuff, like Providence for baseball.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're right. So, okay, but still, other schools have baseball. They let them get away.
Well, Northeastern.
UConn.
Northeastern's awesome.
BC
had really good. BC had really good teams when Coach Gambino was there.
Yep.
And they've had. It's harder. Then you go down to like St. John's. You mentioned Providence, where Maloney.
UConn's had a good team. I mean, they're even.
Some UConn's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Holy Cross, but this year,
Well,
still.
But again, the one is Northeastern with Mike Lavin.
But when you have, when you have a kid from New Hampshire who's going on to play in the SEC at a high level Division I, one of the best teams in the country, you got to give him a round of that is hard to do because you just don't get. You spend more time probably inside initially than you do outside because the weather sucks so bad. So that's why any New England kid that makes it into the SEC, the ACC, or every big time program, with all due respect to the New England schools, I mean, I think it's amazing because they just don't have the playoff. They don't have the playing time outside like you do here in Florida or Texas or California.
So no, it's a big thing. And when Eric was here, it's Eric Backich, who's the Clemson coach now. When he was here at Michigan, he would kind of embrace the cold stuff and, have fun with it. But it's a real thing. And the single biggest thing, CPR and I talk about this all the time, with the being in the warm weather, you don't have to go to these tournaments in like Florida, California, and Texas. So you have all these home games. So the less travel, less wear and tear on your kids. I go through the same thing with the softball girls here. And they've had really good teams the last couple of years. I mean, they got beat by the national champions this year in the NCAA tournament, Texas. So it's a big deal. I don't know what you do with the disadvantages and advantages. Maybe move the season back a year, but I mean a month. Excuse me. And then you interrupt summer ball and travel ball. And
don't forget exams that are so important. Can't interfere with exams. Academics might get in the way, but I don't care about.
I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment further on this time. But Pete, you're a really smart guy.
The loyalist Michigan alum that you are, and you sacrificed your own body to go sit in the stands. We talked about it several times this year when it was 10 degrees to watch the Wolverines in April play against Akron or whoever they were playing. And there you are, one of 50, besides the parents, one of several 15 people in the stands rooting on the Wolverines with your parka and your gloves, and it looked like you were going skiing.
The funniest thing was, and that's not even the best one, but the one 2 years ago, we're playing Michigan State in a midweek game, and it was pouring, and they were trying to get the game in. And I intentionally was the only person sitting in the stands. All the other parents, there's a couple rooftop areas in each corner of the seats. I was the only guy sitting behind home plate, and it was pouring. Our players loved it. Like Jacob Denner, who was our best pitcher 2 years ago, was messaging me last night. We were talking about. He's also a Mets fan. He's in the Seattle Mariners organization, and we were talking about this. But yeah, it's fun. That's the thing. The weather here, and it's really weird, Pete, because we had the Velasquez's here, and their son played football and baseball here, and now he's at Ohio State. But they would do both games, baseball and football, all the time. And for whatever reason, just the way it's set up, Ray Fisher Stadium is so much colder than the Big House because the Big House is lower, and Pete, the wind is so bad over Ray Fisher Stadium.
Really?
So, by the way, softball is worse. Oh my God, it's Pete. It's so
up high, but if you're up high, I imagine it's unbearable.
Okay, but that's what they do. The softball. Yeah. So one of my buddies, JJ Putz, his daughter Lauren is the DH on the softball team, and they come in from Arizona. He and his wife, Kelsey, his wife, was a great player here in softball. So they come. Man, yeah. I'm texting JJ. He works for the Diamondbacks, and I'm texting him. He's like, man, are you out of your effing mind coming from Arizona to here? But she's a double legacy. She's a great player. But the weather is, I mean, I don't know how you overcome it. And now you've got teams like Oklahoma that are incredible. Clemson's getting really good. I don't think they've had a team for like 6 years. And college softball and college baseball is really interesting. And the other thing is, Pete, you know this because you watch Miami a lot.
Yep.
It's a good TV product. Particularly in the conference games, particularly, you and you're a Miami fan, I'm a Clemson fan and a Michigan fan. The ACC is fun. I mean, the ACC is good.
I mean, look at Louisville. I mean, that Miami-Louisville series this year was outstanding. What I still can't believe, it's one of the craziest. I can't believe the University of Miami in Florida does not have a softball team. I don't get it. I can't believe.
Well, wait. Okay, you got to look at the Title IX parts because I know
that, but that's should not come into play. And I know they're trying to get one. I know they're trying. It doesn't make sense to me. When you
Michigan doesn't have a women's hockey team.
That is outrageous too.
That's another, but they're trying to fix that. So what happens is,
by the way, Penn State's getting the number 1 overall pick. He's going to go to Penn State. Hockey player.
Yeah, the what's his face? I talked about this the other day. I talked about this the other day with you.
Yeah.
Gavin McKenna.
Gavin McKenna. Yeah.
And so here's the thing that happens because of, and it's going to get worse now with the House settlement. So what's happening now? It's the Olympic sports, the non-revenues, whether it's every school is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
For your school, Miami, it's basketball. Football, basketball, and
baseball. I mean, lacrosse, hockey.
So whatever teams you have,
golf,
yes,
all those.
So outside of most schools have basketball and football. For your school in Clemson, baseball is good too. In Michigan, has hockey. So you look at your first 3 sports to make money, and then it's a cost benefit analysis. Okay. If we have this team, it's going to cost us this much to do it. So what happens is they look at things like, the softball team is going to cost us how much money and how we just. So the best example of this is, and the Mans are talking about this. Their son Brandon plays football and baseball here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
USC doesn't have a softball team because they have like synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Not synchronized swimming. They have beach volleyball, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're like the best team in the country at it. And there's only like 35
there's one down
beach
here.
volleyball teams.
FGCU has a good beach volleyball team down here, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess it's expensive for whatever reason. It costs money.
But the bottom line is, we know, I mean, it's football and basketball, and only a select number of schools make a minimal profit in baseball, like LSU, maybe Miami, maybe UCLA. I mean, some other. And it's a minor profit. As successful as LSU and Tennessee and some of the SEC and Big Ten, Pac-12 schools are, baseball is a tiny bit of revenue. For most schools, they're losing money on baseball and softball. 95% of them are losing money on baseball. So it comes down to basketball and football. Mostly football.
Yeah, and people don't understand. People don't
They
understand.
lose millions of dollars in every
Oh, yeah.
other sport. Tens of millions of dollars to fly the girl or boys golf team from Rutgers to USC.
Yes.
To the
Yes.
swim team, the water
Yes.
polo teams that have to travel. I mean, do you realize how much money that flights for nobody going to? I mean, you might get some fans that go to these games, but how many people? Maybe a Florida Gator swim meet. Maybe they get some fans there, but I mean. Do you know how much money every other sport? And I'm not saying to drop it because the kids deserve it, but it costs a shitload of money to send these kids, especially now with the conferences the way they are, all over the country. You're not generating anything, but they get away with it because football and basketball bails them out.
You got Stanford and Cal in the ACC. I mean, and then you got how crazy the Big Ten is. You literally have coast to coast. You have Rutgers and Maryland, and then USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. Now, the one that is more centralized, and it's funny now, is the Big 12. Even though you have a couple Florida schools. But, I mean, you have Arizona State, Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, all that. So it's just crazy. But no, you're right. The travel is thing, but the TV money drives everything. But yeah, there's so many stupid things.
But people forget about all the other sports outside of the top four, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. They forget about all the other college sports and what. Just picture a football schedule with all these. It's not like the swim team goes with 2 meets. Michigan.
No, they have like 15 to 20.
15 or 20.
Yeah.
All over the country. It's the golf team. Same thing. The lacrosse.
Golf is an underrated one.
Track.
Because well, track.
Track, they can have multiple teams usually. A lot of times they'll have 3 or 4 teams in one. But nevertheless, you're still paying. You're still flying a bunch of kids out. No one is going, man, I got to go to that Ohio State, Michigan track meet because that's going to be like the football. And no one's saying that. I mean, if you're kind of hanging around, if you're after school, if you're around wherever they might be running, or I mean, maybe the most exciting thing is a 200-yard dash or the pole vault.
So no, it's funny because you bring up the track and field. So when Tommy and I are here, we had Coach Ron Warhurst, who's a Vietnam veteran. He ran our track program and cross country, and he's still around now. He's got that Hobbs Kessler. He basically coaches pro track and field guys now. He's got Hobbs Kessler and other guys too, and he trains. I'm literally 2 blocks away from all the athletic department stuff, and he trains a guy. And Kevin Sullivan, who's from Canada, was in school with me, and he runs our track and field program now. And just the work these guys put in, and they're here year-round training, and it's great. If you remember, like 5 years ago, the Boston Marathon was in that awful slushy storm, that Slurpee storm.
Yeah.
And Daz Linden won the women's race. And she's from here. She's from Michigan. But she would go train in northern Arizona, and people would look at me like, why would she do that? And Coach Ron explained this to me, and that's where he sent Hobbs. Hobbs set the mile record for the United States in high school. So he would send Hobbs down to northern Arizona to train. Because, Pete, you get every friggin' weather known to man there.
Yeah.
You get ice, you get slush, you get 105. So Des Linden wipes out the marathon. It was like 5-6 years ago, because the foreign people from Africa and Asia, they don't train in this shit. They don't train in a Slurpee storm. And that's what it was. You remember, it was awful.
It was.
And Des Linden won. She won by a mile, too. She won by a lot. And then the next year, she finished like 17th. And her time was better than the year before, except that the normal conditions hurt her and helped everybody else. So it's like the equivalent of you and I are football guys. NFL game in bad weather, certain types of styles of play translate well to the bad weather. So it was, funny. The controlled passing game, like what Tommy would do, and a running game would be okay. Then, the old West Coast offense with all the high percentage passes and quick hitters and all that. So it was fun. But no, it's a weird week, the All-Star game, without Juan Soto.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I'm
so goddamn stupid.
The whole snub stuff is just crazy. This thing with Mizorowski that got added on by Milwaukee's only gone.
Bonnie explained that really well. I appreciated you playing that. Thank you for having
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't look. I think it was Sanchez from Philadelphia. Was it Sanchez, the pitcher?
Jonathan Sanchez,
just like Crochet, he didn't want to pitch. He's not going to pitch. I guess maybe you feel if you get named. I guess if you have a contract and you get bonus money. I guess that's the only thing. Otherwise, I don't give a damn because most of these pitchers don't want to pitch in it anyway. It's nice to be named, but they don't want to pitch, especially if you're in contention. I don't want Garrett Crochet pitching in this All-Star game.
No.
And if you're a Phillies fan or any fan of any team in contention, I don't want any pitchers pitching in this game. I'm sorry, I just don't. It's great if your team's out of it, you want to be represented, but I just don't. Look, man, I remember Bucky Dent being named All-Star. I mean, this stuff has been going on forever, so I'm just glad it doesn't.
But no, the funny thing was,
I'm glad it doesn't mean home field advantage anymore for the
no, it doesn't.
Series.
The funny thing was, if you saw the story, what's going on, because people out here care about screwball with the Tigers.
Yeah,
Boone was going to make Max Fried the starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And Max Fried called Screwball because he knows Screwball deserves to be the starter.
Yeah.
And he asked him about it because Boone was going to start Fried because he used to pitch for the Braves. And, of course, people in Atlanta don't care. People in Atlanta don't care about the Braves. They don't care about the Braves.
About the rotation, I mean, I know nobody's playing again until Friday, so nobody's playing. So no matter who pitches, you're going to have – but it was probably about the rotation, too. If he's due up – like I know Crochet's – not scheduled to pitch the opener against the Cubs, although I don't know why. It had Giolito up there for Friday at 2:20. But
might be a matchup thing.
Could be, but I want Garrett Crochet pitching as often as possible. But anyway, we digress. But I mean,
he's a great story.
Oh,
he's a great story. It was funny last night because Vitello was on doing the draft, and I told you this a couple times. Crochet didn't pitch a lot in college.
No, he didn't.
And when he went to the White Sox, because part of it was he was caught up in the COVID years and he had an arm injury. But then Crochet, his first 2 years in the White Sox, he was a reliever.
Yep.
But he was he was like a 7th, 8th inning, pitch 2 innings a time, 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. But they bulked him up. And then I think his last year and a half on the White Sox, he was a starter. And then they elevated him on the Red Sox. So he's got a lot like how Jacob DeGrom was.
He never pitched more than
you don't know about Jacob.
He never pitched more than 199 innings. He never had a complete game, not to mention a complete game shutout like he did the other day. It was just absolutely awesome. But only 100.
So Jacob DeGrom, people don't know this, Pete. Jacob DeGrom was a shortstop in college at Stetson. He hit a home run off Chris Sale.
Yeah.
And he didn't become a pitcher until late. And Chipper Jones's father-in-law was his college coach. So so DeGrom didn't have a lot of wear and tear on his arm.
Where did he go to school? Because FGCU obviously was
Stetson.
Oh, Stetson. So they played, they must have faced each other a lot because they were in the same conference.
And there's video. I mean, DeGrom could hit. DeGrom is a ridiculous player.
Well, most shortstops and pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
If you go,
that was Brett Saberhagen. Brett Saberhagen and Tim Wakefield did the same thing.
I guarantee you that most major leaguers, for the most part, maybe catchers excluded, were shortstops and pitchers for most of their career until they got to D1. I guarantee it. Those were always the best players on the team.
Yeah. So I was just talking about Eric Bakich. Eric recruits. If you look at his recruiting for Clemson, he'll sign 6 shortstops. Like Ken Canarella, who basically is Andrew Jones, Ken Griffey Jr. in center field, who just got drafted yesterday by the Marlins in the first round. He was a shortstop. He never played center field, and Eric put him in center field as a freshman, and he became Andrew Jones, the best center fielder. I mean, he just makes circus catches all the time. And it's amazing. You move guys over. There's 6 guys on the current Clemson team that were shortstops. And the kid they lost in the draft last night to the Yankees was a shortstop. So, I mean, it's a good idea because I and the Red Sox are an interesting study case right now because they have so many guys who play different positions. And a lot of that is, they got Trevor Story, they got Bregman, they're veteran guys who make a lot of money. So they want to move Roman Anthony and other guys around. But Roman Anthony was technically listed as a center fielder. And I was talking to CPR about this. You can blame Jim Edmonds, and now Aaron Judge for this.
Mm-hmm.
And Judge isn't in center that much because they got Bellinger, who's incredible, and he can play center. But never in a million years, Pete, when you and I were kids, would a big moose guy be in center field. Outside of like Gorman Thomas, that's about the only one I can think of.
Yeah, and even him, he DH more times.
The center fielder guy was usually a Fred Lynn, super athletic,
Mickey
run it
River.
down.
So many.
Yes.
The bigger outfielders.
Lenny Dykstra.
One of the bigger outfielders, but he played left mostly, right? Bo Jackson. I mean, he was a big man. Well, he played center sometimes too.
Yes.
Bo played center.
Yeah, but Bo Jackson.
He's
Bo Jackson is such an outlier. But no, like, and to a lesser extent, Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
But a lot. Devin White was really good. And
Like
then I mentioned,
you wouldn't see the late. You wouldn't see
back
the
in
late.
the day, Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy was a big guy. He was a catcher.
You would not see
originally.
The late great Dave Parker play center field.
No,
maybe he did
but
a spot start once in a while. But obviously, one of the best right fielders ever. Yep.
But that's a great analogy, and that's what I'm talking about. You wouldn't have today. You might put Dave Parker there because he had such an arm.
Yep.
And even somebody like Ichiro. Now he's a smaller guy, but he's such a great outfielder. I'm trying to remember, Pete. Did Dwight Evans ever play in inning or two in center?
He might have. He maybe even at the end in Baltimore the last year.
Yaz did a little. I remember that when I was looking.
Occasionally, the Red Sox' biggest problem back then was where
before Fred Lynn came up. Yeah.
When Bryce and Lynn came up, and then you had center field. Yaz and left. On the other hand, you still had like Ben Ogilvy on the team back then. They had Cecil Cooper was still on. I mean, they had a
Rick Miller.
They had a gazillion options of
Pete,
what to do. And that's why Yaz would play first base sometimes Cooper would DH, sometimes Rice would DH, Rice would be in left field. I mean, one thing with the stability was Evans was always in right field. And he might have
I gotta say this.
I can't remember him at center field ever. And I could be wrong, but Dwight Evans. I can't ever remember him playing.
You probably have him on. You could ask him. I mean, Dwight's awesome.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I gotta say. How did the 70s Red Sox not win an effing World Series?
Because that was just, what's funny?
Because there was one team that made the playoffs and the goddamn Reds.
Well, but the Yankees were strong back then.
And that was the year Jim Rice got hurt too in 75.
Yeah.
Jim Rice got hurt.
76, 77, 78. The 77 Red Sox were about as powerful a team as you could possibly imagine without winning anything. They would hit 4 home runs every single game. It was insane. They were ahead. They were ahead they were up. And then you had I don't forget this. They said a documentary on yesterday. I was watching the last 20 minutes of it to watch the Yankees, Dodgers, and that epic World Series. They went 6 games, but that was the one where, Reggie in Game 6. It's got to. It's
4 home runs in a row, 3 in one game. Yeah,
3 in a row on 3 first pitches.
Different pitchers. Three different pitchers. Yes.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, the night before he hit a home run in his last at bat. So he had 4 home runs in a row.
I'll never forget it because I was only barely 10 years old, and I got sent to bed around the 5th inning because it was a school night. I'm in 4th grade. I remember my father and one of his best friends watching the game. I'm listening to the game under my with the transistor radio with an earpiece. I'm listening to it on the local national affiliate, whatever it was. And my dad's best friend was a huge, huge Yankee fan. And all I could hear was every all I heard was, I mean, and it really was. And I'm sitting there in bed. I listened to the whole game. I probably didn't fall asleep until 12 o'clock, midnight. But I'm listening to the whole game on the radio. I'm like, oh my God, I hated the Yankees so much. And my mom was a huge Yankee fan, so she's yelling and screaming.
But go ahead, Pete. So that was the 3 homer game by Reggie. That was the clinching game, right?
6, yes. Yep.
Okay. Now here's the funny part of it. Pete, do you remember who pitched the complete game to win the game?
Yeah, Guidry.
No.
No, Guidry.
It ties into the next season for the Red Sox.
Mike Torres.
And the funny part is, you just said that's what was funny. What you said, it was Guidry versus Torres in Bucky Deck game.
Yeah, in the playoff game.
Yeah. Where Yaz hit the ball around the foul pole in right field to start the game.
Yep.
I think he hit a 3-run home. It was a 3-run homer, right?
Yep. Absolutely was.
Off
The
a
play in that series, the play in that game that nobody talks
Lou
about.
Piniella!
Lou Piniella, look what I found. Love out. Look
The
what I
son,
found.
he's out of position for
It was-
Fred Lynn's ball.
Fred Lynn, yeah, he sticks his glove. Was it Lynn or bro? Whatever. He
Well, it
sticks his
was
glove.
Fred Lynn.
That would have been an inside the park home run if that gets
Yes!
by him. Easy inside the park home run.
Why is he wasn't even positioned correctly?
No. Total.
In
He just came in and sun's in his eyes because that game was at 3:15 that day. We got out of school an hour early that day. An hour early in Warwick, Rhode Island. We got out of school an hour early to go home and watch that game. I was so pissed. Yes, buckling.
I remember that game for a million reasons, but you and I have talked about. I love the Hawk. I love Ken Hawk Harrelson.
Oh yeah.
And the Hawk was the year Hawk did the Red Sox games.
No, but but not on ABC that day. He didn't. That was what's his name?
Was it Keith Jackson?
Keith Jackson did the game, and Cosell wasn't there either for that game either.
Thank God. You want to talk about somebody mailing it in? Oh my God! It's like Al Michaels on Thursday Night Football.
I listened to the highlights yesterday. 77 Yankees Dodgers. There, watching it. And it's just every time Keith Jackson made the call, it was when Reggie did those. He's like, here's Howard Cosell. And overall, I kind of liked Howard. I mean, I think he was misunderstood.
I was about to ask you about that.
I think
because you and I grew up with him.
Ways, but you go back to the Monday Night Football highlights when there was no ESPN, nothing like that, and he would go through it off the top of his head and just do the highlights, and was very, very entertaining doing it. Look, when he did an event, it was an event. I mean, it wasn't.
Did you ever have Greg on, his son, the scout?
No, I love Greg. I love watching him on NFL Matchup. He's terrific. I got to get him on. He is awesome. That's the best show ESPN does, and it's not even close. NFL Matchup.
When he took it over for Jaws, he took it over for Jaws.
It's not even their show. It's not really even their show. It just happens to be on
NFL Films.
NFL Films. Yeah, and him and Sal Palladino do a great. Sal does a great job. Yep.
It's amazing. A lot of these, and I'm not just saying this because Angel's here, but a lot of these NFL Films guys are based out of Philadelphia, because they actually live or work in New Jersey because of the taxes.
And that's where
a lot of my Eagles buddies do this. They live in New Jersey. Runyon did this, and you can do it's started with Jaws, and you mentioned Sal Powell and all those guys, but and obviously the Sables, God bless them both, they both passed away.
Yeah,
but the whole NFL film setup there. It's amazing. I've been there a couple times, and it just tapes everywhere. It's awesome. And Greg is great. I watch him a lot on Russ Tucker.
He is
other different programs.
Yeah, he's
fantastic. On with the Herd all the time too. Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean, you couldn't have Greg Cosell on or do a show for 4 hours because he's just so in depth. That show is perfect. It's a half an hour. They break down about 3 games, and it's a total X and O show, and I love it. I nerd out I make sure it's DVR'd. I usually wait till Sunday to watch it, even though it comes out on Saturday.
It's on early, right?
It's on early, but I always DVR it so I can just watch it at my leisure. Usually, I try to watch it around 10 o'clock on Sundays, right when the injury reports come out, and then I go back and watch it. It's a great, it's only 22 minutes when you fast forward through the commercials, but it is really well done.
I'll say this before you let me go.
Yeah.
You have to watch the Jim.
I got one thing to ask you after this, but yeah.
You got to watch the Jim Abbott special on ESPN.
When is that coming up?
It was out. It came out last night. It's on like ESPN Plus now. You can watch it.
I taped it. Is it 30 for 30?
Southpaw. Yeah, it's Southpaw, 30 for 30.
I DVR'd. I have it. I saw it this morning on my recently recorded.
It's awesome. So his daughter played volleyball here and was dating one of our baseball players.
And let's refresh everybody's memory about Jim Abbott first, who lost his own.
He's a Flint kid, Flint, Michigan, which is where Rick Leach is from. Born without a hand on one of his on his arm. Like it's funny that I got my forearm thing on.
Yep.
Yeah. So he learned to pitch and play. He was also a quarterback, so he'd flip his glove. Yep. And put it where his stump is and catch and play. And he talks about this in the show. So he became a really good pitcher. He won the Golden Spikes Award here. But I'm talking about when he was in college.
Oh, yeah.
When he was in Michigan, he was the Olympic team, Pan Am Games with Charles Nagy. who pitched for the Cleveland Indians, a Maine guy, a lot of other pitchers, but he became a big deal. Went right to the majors with the Angels. Scott Boras, I believe, was his agent, and just a really class act. Pitched a no hitter for the Yankees. Wade Boggs was playing third base at the time, and we both hate the Yankees, but we didn't that day because Abbott's such a great story. And just a really class act and great representative for our university. Just an awesome guy. I say this all the time, and I tweeted it to him. He's a very large reason why I came to the University of Michigan. Because remember, back in the day, in like 87, 88, there wasn't the streaming and every game's on TV. Michigan would have maybe 1 or 2 games on. Our annual beatdown of Ohio State and our annual loss to Notre Dame. Yeah. So so that type of stuff would happen all the time. But just like one of my heroes, and Pete, the show is great. A lot of these 30 for 30s are very good.
Absolutely. That's another thing ESPN does very well.
Yes, yes. So you said you wanted to ask me something. Go ahead.
2 more things. One, I had Danny Ventura on Friday, who's just retiring from the Herald. He had so many good praises about you. It was a riot, and we were sharing. He was going over some stories, and he's got it because I told him he needs to write a book.
I used to text him from the Lions games when I would go to the Lions games and in the press box because he's a huge Lions fan. People don't know this.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would text him from the Lions games, and I'd be at a game with Kathy, my business partner, and she'd be on Twitter. It's like, Jay, who's this Danny Ventura guy? I go, he used to cover me in high school. He's the Boston Herald, old school, because Kathy did TV and radio for years, and she appreciates the old school reporter type guys. And I would talk about, I love Danny, and I go back and visit with the Andover kids when I go home. I talk to CPR every night. But he remembers me and Coach Collins. See, again, I talk about this all the time. If you covered high school sports in Massachusetts last like 40, 50 years, you have a million Dick Collins stories, and I'm in a bunch of them. But he was just well, there were a couple. Yeah, there was when he told me to transfer to Pluto. That wasn't a fun day.
And that was when Pluto was a planet. That was when Pluto was a planet. Not just
I think he was going to send me there. But yeah, there were some. No, and I still talk to Barbara, his widow, and I was very lucky. And it's the sports community in my area. You have Billy Bird on, and Mac, and Dano's just awesome. I call him Dano if you didn't know that. And every time the Lions play, I root for him and the team. And we'd go to Merrimack when I was there playing, and Andover. I was just part of the golden era of Andover sports. And Billy talked about this. We had some ridiculous teams when I was there, and just players everywhere. And it was a lot of fun.
That's great. And the last thing,
and best of luck to Dano in retirement. Awesome guy. Awesome. Just the best. And to do what he does now, there were a couple of guys. Mike Lynch was the other one from Channel 5 with the high five. And to a lesser extent, Bob Lobel was with the local sports
Steve
teams.
Buckley was big into high school sports, especially
yes.
Somerville.
I'm talking more about multimedia guys.
Somerville every Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, Somerville was going to beat Everett. Of course, they'd lose 66-10 or whatever it was.
Mike Sanistrell and I used to talk about that all the time, about how they would I would ask, because they beat Andover in the Final Four, AJ Perry's last game, and I would joke about Sandy about their Thanksgiving game, because it was like 540 to 80 over like 6-7 year span. And it was like, I'm like, and that was when they had de Blasio as the coach.
Oh,
and the son is the quarterback's coach now at BC for Billy O'Brien. So I used to laugh at those scores. I mean, Everett was. Andover played him, and the running back had eight carries for 230 yards, and they knocked him out. The next kid came in, and then he had 4 carries for like 170. So it was like watching Barry Sanders against high school kids. It was ridiculous.
The last thing, I hate to see deaths by stupidity. This is a horrible thing with John Elway and the golf thing, and Jeff Sparebeck, his agent and everything else. And he died.
His old agent, right?
He died. He's died riding. He's standing up on the back of a golf cart, which is never, unless it's an emergency situation.
Wasn't he drunk? Wasn't he drunk or something?
Yeah, but that is so. What a horrible thing. And of course, John Elway got cleared of any wrongdoing, but it just sucks.
Have you met or talked to John Elway before?
Once at one Super Bowl, I can't remember which one. Yeah, he was very nice.
Awesome.
He was doing the tour around Radio Row.
Pete, his forearms are bigger than me.
Oh, he's just ridiculous.
He's a freak show.
Yeah.
I mean, and just awesome guy. He's my answer. He's the second best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yep.
I mean, he's just physically off the charts. Obviously smart. He went to Stanford, and just a freak show. And listen, another guy to make Angel get excited. The other guy that I was in awe of was Randall Cunningham. He did stuff in games. Now I used to go watch Marino warm up, and the other one that's funny, Pete, is go watch. He wasn't a good player, but go watch Jeff George warm up and throw.
He was phenomenal, and I mean,
it was like Drew Bledsoe level stuff. It was like freak show.
Arm strength he was at the top of the list.
But I would pay him not to play. I mean, he was a disaster. And
for the most part. He had he had some flashes, but mostly yes.
Yeah.
It was like he was an ooh-ah guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Bill Parcells and Belichick would say, the underwear Olympics guys. I mean, it was just nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah. So listen, I got to roll. You and Angel. So Angel, we'll do Wednesday normally through the schedule. We're good.
Yeah, this is the most boring sports week of the year, and I took vacation a couple weeks ago. That's fine.
This should be this. Okay, I might be breaking something for right now.
Yeah,
but this would be a really good week for the NCAA to come up with its findings about the Michigan spying. I'm saying that might be.
ESPN would still lead with LeBron James and his decision-making stuff like they did today. You would think Terry Francona.
By the way,
do you think Terry Francona 2,000 games, a Red Sox 10-game winning streak, a whole bunch of baseball stories going on, and what does ESPN morning radio lead with? Fucking LeBron James, followed by 15 minutes
holding the Lakers hostage.
Chicago Bear football. Who cares? I mean, you want to touch on that like in topic number 20? Go ahead. They refuse to talk about baseball. You know why? Because they don't.
Because they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to get rid of it. They don't want it anymore.
But LeBron James' lead story on ESPN National Radio today, fucking pathetic. Pathetic.
So
thank God for me.
Again, this is what I talk about. I can't stand LeBron James.
Yeah,
he's so bad for that.
What is going on outside of your room over there? I've heard birds tweaking. There's horns.
Okay. This is the morning rush. I live on Main Street in Ann Arbor. So there's always sirens, fire trucks, everything. And there's construction. I'm right by the stadium. They're doing road construction. There's always construction going on around my house and neighborhood. And it's never a dull moment, Pete.
All right, get out here. I know I've kept you way too long. Thank you so much, Dave. We'll talk soon. Maybe later this week.
Well, I mean, you got to kill some time.
All right, bud. Take care. There we go. All right, Angel. Angel's exhausted. He needs to go to bed. He needs to nap. He needs to do nappies. Is it storm? I think it's cloudy here now. I believe we're supposed to get some massive lightning here in Fort Myers and storms. Basically, all day, on and off all day. So.
Yeah, we're about to get the next Nick Sirianni storms coming through here with Big Dom. It's getting dark and ridiculous.
Well, he's like a human eclipse anyway.
He sure is.
All right, what's coming up on the network today?
Today is Monday, so we have coming up later on this evening will be Lloyd Vance's Insider Football with Kevin Midget. And hang on, let me tell you, because he does have a representative from flag football, and I will tell you exactly who it was.
Olympic flag football?
Yes. Where was it? It
Deborah,
is
good job. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Trevor. What up, Pete?
Chris Allen, who was with the flag football. Hang on. I want to make sure I do this right because if not, I don't want to get my butt kicked for this. But hang on. This is what happens when you have to do 30,000 things and remember stuff all at once.
Hold, please, as my friend Marie would say. She says it all the time. Hold, please. Okay, Marie.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Fantasy analyst and content, excuse me, coordinator for, yep. So, yeah, and I know he talks flag football as well. But anyways, that FSWA member, home brewer, organizer of the cookout group. So he also loves to cook as well. One day I'll have to have him on the show too.
Wonderful. What's better than that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
All right, that is about, that's going to do it. And with a little old school cameo here. Word up. Word, West Side Angel. Back tomorrow here on the Pete Shepard Show on the Coastal Sports Network. Thanks to Jay Flanley from Bees World for joining us. We're back at 7 a.m. recapping the Home Run Derby. Hopefully something will happen between now and then. Have a great and safe rest of your Monday, everybody. See ya.